Hey guys, welcome to another IndieTips.com review hosted here on UglyMcGregor. I have a problem. I bought the GH4 because I wanted to invest into a smaller camera that would take the hassle out of setting up a larger unit. I wanted something that I could just whip out of my bag and start filming straight away, and the GH4 does that with spectacular results too. It's quickly become my favourite go-to camera. However, and it's a big however, one thing that annoys the hell out of me is trying to view the LCD in daylight. Although bright, the coating of the LCD makes it almost impossible to actually judge focus and framing when filming in direct sunlight. So what other options do we have? Well, not many really, but the obvious route to go is to get a field monitor. Now for a financially appropriate purchase, you can look at getting the Aputure VS1 FineHD. This is a 7-inch 16:9 field monitor that has a resolution of 1920 by 1200, which is a big increase over the initial VS1 model and VS2. So let's have a look at what's in the box. This is a materialistic insight, but one thing I really like about Aputure products is the design of the box and the layout of the items inside. To some extent, the packaging is quite like what you would expect from Apple. This is the monitor. In comparison with the older version, nothing much has changed on the cover other than the FineHD imprint, but under the cover is where things have changed, more on that later. This is just essentially a lens cloth, always useful. And here we have a sun hood, which is going to be one of the most important accessories this piece comes with. The hood is attached like so, a bit of Velcro keeps it in place, and most importantly stops the glare. It can be a little bit of a hassle to try and get on if you're doing it yourself. Underneath that we have several cables, 2 HDMI cables, an A-type to C-type, and an A-type to D-type. Your use on these cables will depend on what type of camera you have. I shoot my tutorials with a GH4, which has the D-type connection. Here we have a hot shoe mount that will fit on top of your camera. Now there's nothing wrong with this hot shoe mount, but personally I always get a little queasy when attaching the monitor to this specific mount. I've always used a magic arm, and I think the size of the provided hot shoe attachment gives me nightmares about it not being strong enough to hold the monitor. So what have you noticed that is missing from the box? Batteries. And it's one of the initial drawbacks to the monitor is that there are no batteries to accompany it. The other monitor I use is a 5-inch red monitor, and that draws power from the camera itself. So I was a little taken back knowing that you would need to acquire batteries and a charger after purchasing the monitor. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the features the monitors have. The housing of the monitor is really stylish. If you watched my previous video where I was using the Aputure LS1 LED light panel, I commended the sleek design of the light. Aputure do have a good rep of making their products look nice. I will say, however, in conjunction with the Apple reference earlier, it feels like if you were to drop the monitor, that would be the end of it. Not that I would recommend dropping anything in the first place. The monitor boots up in relatively next to no time, and one of the first things you want to do is change the language settings. You can do this by clicking M and scrolling down 5 times. Even though the settings are in Chinese, I believe, the word language is written in English, so you can change it quite easily. This is the menu. It's very minimalistic, and to be honest, I think the sleek design of an item like this needs to stop on the surface. When the inner mechanics of something like a menu or on-screen graphics start to get elaborate with animations and so on, it can become a hassle just to get from A to B. The menu presents you with a group of basic functions, center mark, safe area, and so forth. You have the option of the cinescope aspect ratio, which I think is incredibly useful for those who are shooting at 1920 by 1080 and like to crop their footage for the cinematic look in post. Back when DSLRs were first being used for filmmaking, many people used electrical tape over the LCD for onset crop marks, so this feature is very useful and less sticky. The monitor also has a useful zoom function, which is a lot easier than finding the zoom on the camera when you have everything set up. Although I would imagine the zoom function on the monitor is zooming into the information being provided that is on the camera's LCD, rather than zooming in using the sensor as the camera would. You are able to adjust the RGB color settings and the actual color temperature. I found upon initially using the monitor there was too much blue into my image, easily corrected using the easy navigation system. The up, down, left, right functions here also serve as a shortcut key, which you can customize to your own tailored use. When you're shooting outside, the hood and the brightness of the monitor does provide a better job of reflecting the sun glare, but it's not 100%. Then again, I think you have to be honest with yourself and remember you are filming on a DSLR. Unless you have a professional viewfinder to look down, I don't think you're going to completely remove that glare problem. However, it does help it dramatically. For how much the monitor costs, it really is a great addition to your kit. You don't actually realize the details you miss when you're looking at your composition through the tiny 3-inch LCD screen. Props out of place, visible set errors, the sound guy smoking in the background. Trust me, the world can't be seen through 3 inches of glass. It's a great improvement to its predecessor. I would still consider this a budget monitor. You're not going to find the features of a $1,000 on the FS1 FineHD, but you are going to get your money's worth. And that's it for this review. You can go to indietips.com to find the written article. Remember to like, share and subscribe as always. Any comments about the monitor, please drop me a message in the comment box. Until next time.